Suppose I tell you that the thing you keep calling impossible is already done, already yours, already waiting for you to accept it, not one day in the future, but now. You may look at your bank account, your body, your relationships, and everything seems to shout, this is your reality. But I am asking you to look higher, to look inward, and to dare to believe that what you assume within yourself is more powerful than anything you see outside. There is a simple living law at work in your life. What you assume to be true with feeling hardens into fact. This is not cold theory. Every change you have ever experienced began with an invisible shift inside you. You assumed you could learn that skill, and so you did. You assumed you could pass that exam, and your mind organized itself around that belief. You assumed you could get through that painful season, and somehow, day by day, you did. The law of assumption is nothing strange. It is simply this. Your inner state, held in faith, becomes your outer world. You have heard it said that all things are possible to the one who believes. Let that sink in. Not some things, not easy things, all things. The outer facts may laugh at you. The numbers may say, there is no way. The doctors may say, this is final. The people around you may shake their heads. Yet the law is clear. It is done unto you according to your faith. Faith is not begging. Faith is not hoping with fear still in your chest. Faith is the quiet, bold decision to accept as true what your senses cannot yet see. Think of imagination as the secret place where you meet the unseen, when you close your eyes and dare to feel what it would be like if your desire were already fulfilled. You are not playing with fantasies. You are touching the reality behind appearances. You are stepping into the finished picture. The unseen is more solid than the seen, and you prove this every time your inner conviction breaks through and rearranges the facts of your life. Let me share a simple picture. A woman lives with what she calls impossible debt. Every letter in the mail feels like another blow. Every ring of the phone fills her with dread. She has made an assumption without realizing it. I am always in lack. I am always behind. And the law, being perfect, reflects that assumption again and again. One night she grows tired of this story. She decides to experiment. She sits quietly, closes her eyes, and sees herself looking at a bank statement that overflows. She feels the lightness in her chest, the relief in her body. She hears herself saying, I am so grateful everything is paid. I am free. She does not know how this will happen. She only knows this. In her inner world, it is already finished. She returns to this inner scene night after night, not with strain, but with a gentle joy. She speaks kindly to herself during the day. I live in abundance. Provision comes to me in perfect ways. I am taken care of. Weeks pass. Unexpected opportunities appear. A forgotten refund arrives. A friend suggests a new position. Bit by bit, her outer life begins to line up with the state she has been faithfully assuming. One day, she looks again at her accounts and realizes her impossible has become her normal. The law of assumption did not suddenly begin to work for her. It had been working all along. She simply chose a new assumption. You say, but my desire is even bigger than that. I want a complete change of life. I want love where there has only been loneliness, health where there has only been pain, peace where there has only been chaos. Then you, more than anyone, are being invited to live by this inner law. It is written that faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the proof of things not yet seen. Assurance means you rest in it. You stop arguing with yourself. You stop measuring your progress by the hour. You accept deeply and quietly that what you have taken as your inner reality must show itself in your world. Imagine someone who has been alone for years. They have a habit of thinking, no one wants me. Love is for other people. This assumption colors everything they do. They walk into a room already rejected in their own mind. Then one day they hear this law and decide to try it. They close their eyes and picture a simple scene, sitting at a table, holding the hand of a loving partner, laughing about something only the two of them would understand. They let themselves feel cherished, chosen, secure. Night after night, they return to this scene. In their daily life, whenever the old thought, no one wants me, appears, they gently replace it with, I am deeply loved. I am chosen. I am delightful company. The outer world at first seems unchanged, but inside, something softens, and in perfect time, a meeting happens, a conversation begins, and what they have been assuming blossoms into fact. This is how the seemingly impossible is made ordinary, not by strain, not by forcing, but by assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled and resting in it. You are not commanded to work out all the details. You are not asked to know every step. You are simply invited to believe you have received and trust that the unseen wisdom which shapes all things will arrange the path. Perhaps you wonder, what if I can't feel it? What if my senses are too loud? Then begin gently. Start with something small, something that does not scare you. Imagine a simple gift, a kind message, a small sum of money, a compliment from a stranger. Go into the quiet, relax your body, and let a short little scene play in your mind again and again until it feels familiar. The goal is not to force a feeling, but to accept it, to let it be natural. As your faith grows with these little proofs, you will find it easier and easier to assume greater things. Another beautiful secret is this. You can revise the past in your imagination. Maybe there is a memory that still hurts you, a moment of shame, rejection, or fear. Every time you think of it, it feels as if it is happening all over again. This, too, is an assumption being renewed, but you are not a prisoner of what was. Tonight, when you are alone, go back to that scene in your mind and rewrite it. Change the outcome. See yourself strong, loved, supported. Hear different words being spoken. Feel a different ending. Persist in this revised scene until it feels more real than the old one. Slowly, the power of that painful memory will dissolve, and your present expectations will begin to shift in beautiful ways. My friend, there is something within you that is greater than the facts you face. Call it faith, call it imagination, call it the inner light. It is the same power that has always answered the cry of the heart that dares to believe. When you speak within yourself, it listens. When you assume, I am blessed, I am guided, I am loved, life echoes that song back to you in 1,000 forms. When you dare to say, even this thing I have called impossible is now done, you have already stepped into a new world. You do not need to be perfect to use this law. You do not need special words or a special place. You need only a sincere desire and the willingness to turn away from appearances, if only for a moment, and look with the eyes of faith. Tonight, as you lay your head down to sleep, choose one desire, just one, and decide that it is already fulfilled in your inner world. See it, feel it, give thanks for it, rest in it. And when doubts whisper, answer them gently, it is already done. I walk by faith, not by sight. In time, you will look back on what you once called impossible and smile. You will see how the unseen hand moved through ordinary events, small meetings, simple ideas to bring about what your heart accepted long before. And then, when another desire rises in you, you will remember, the law of assumption is faithful. What you dare to assume in love and faith, you will surely see. So let us bring this down into your everyday life, into the small choices, the quiet moments when no one is watching. That is where this law is really working. Not only in the big prayers, not only in the emotional nights, but in the tiny repeated assumptions about who you are and what is possible for you. Every time you say inside, I can't, it's too big, it's too late, you are praying in reverse. And every time you whisper within, it is possible for me, it is done for me, I am helped. You are opening the door to the seemingly impossible. Think about your inner talking during the day. That steady stream of words and feelings running through your mind is shaping your world. When you assume life is hard, nothing works for me, your inner world becomes heavy, and your actions follow that weight. But if you begin to assume gently and steadily, life is kind to me, doors open for me, I am led by wisdom, you will start to walk differently, speak differently, expect differently. The law of assumption takes the tone of your inner words and reflects it as people, events, and chances. Let's use an example of work or purpose. Imagine someone who feels trapped in a job that drains them. They say things like, I'm stuck here. There are no good opportunities for me. I don't have what it takes. That is an inner identity speaking. Then they hear this teaching and decide to put it to the test. Instead of saying, I'm stuck, they begin to assume, I am valuable. My gifts are needed. The perfect place for me is already prepared. Each morning before they get out of bed, they close their eyes and see themselves walking into a bright, warm workspace, greeted with respect. They feel the relief of being paid well. They hear their own voice saying, this fits me so well. I love what I do. At first, it may feel like pretending. The old state tries to pull them back with thoughts like, you're lying to yourself. Look at your life. But remember, faith is not agreeing with what you can see. Faith is agreeing with what you have chosen to accept within. So they keep returning to that inner scene, especially when they are drowsy at night, when the mind is soft and open. They enter the state as though it is already true, and they fall asleep in that feeling. Day by day, something invisible begins to shift. New ideas appear. A chance conversation points them to a new field. A message comes at just the right time. And one day they find themselves sitting in that very kind of environment they had rehearsed within. There is a saying that if you hold even a tiny measure of real faith, you can speak to a mountain and tell it to move, and it will. That mountain can be anything: a diagnosis, a debt, a fear, a pattern that has repeated in your family for years. The size of the mountain does not decide the outcome, the depth of your assumption does. If you keep looking at the mountain and calling it permanent, you bind it to you. But if, even trembling, you dare to see yourself on the other side of it, already free, already whole, already safe, that simple inner picture becomes the seed of a new reality. Do not worry if you feel fear at first. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is moving in spite of it. When fear rises and says, "What if it doesn't work?" answer it kindly, "What if it does? What if I am more loved and supported than I have ever known?" You are not fighting your fear, you are feeding your faith. The more you feed faith with loving assumptions, the quieter fear will become. In time, the state of it is done will feel more natural than the state of "I hope but I doubt." Another beautiful use of this law is to bless others. You can assume lovingly for someone else without a word being spoken to them. If a friend is struggling, you can go within and see them radiant, calm, happy. You can hear them telling you how well things have turned out. You can feel joy on their behalf. This is a silent gift you can give at any time. You are not forcing them. You are choosing to see them as blessed, provided for, healed, and the same power that answers you will answer that loving vision. You might say, "But the past feels so heavy. I've made so many mistakes." Remember, you are not asked to carry the past like a chain. You are invited to see yourself anew. You can say within, "I am forgiven, I am washed, I am made new." You can imagine yourself standing tall, with your head lifted, every trace of shame removed. The same source that spoke light into darkness can speak a new identity into you if you will agree. You do not have to understand how it happens. Your part is to accept it as true within and to walk as though it is so. Practice can be very simple. In the quiet of the evening, when you are relaxed and almost asleep, choose one clear desire and condense it into a short scene that would happen after it is fulfilled. If your desire is for peace at home, imagine sitting on the couch with your loved ones, laughing softly, feeling harmony in the air. If your desire is for health, imagine yourself doing a simple action that proves you are well, like walking easily, breathing freely, moving without pain. Keep the scene short, vivid, and filled with the feeling of already done. Then, in that gentle, sleepy state, step into the scene as if it is happening now. You are not watching yourself from far away. You are in your own body, seeing through your own eyes. Feel the cushion under you, the air on your skin, the ease in your heart. Hear the sounds, the words, the quiet. Let gratitude rise naturally, as if you are saying inside, "Thank you, this is my life now." Let that be the last impression on your mind as you drift into sleep, and you are planting a living seed in the deep soil of your being. During the day, treat yourself with kindness as you keep this new assumption alive. You do not have to be harsh or strict. If you notice yourself slipping into old thoughts, simply smile inwardly and return to your new state. Say to yourself softly, "No, this is who I am now. I am the one who is blessed in this way. I am the one for whom this is already done." Over time, the new inner identity will become so real that the old story will feel like a dream you woke up from. You can also use your body as a doorway into the state. Ask yourself, how would I sit, stand, and move if my desire were already fulfilled? Would your shoulders be tense or relaxed? Would your breath be shallow or calm? Would your eyes be lowered or bright? Begin to carry yourself as that version of you now. You are not pretending, you are aligning your outer posture with your inner truth. The body responds quickly to assumptions, and sometimes a small change in how you move can help you feel the reality of your new state more strongly. Notice, too, how life begins to speak back to you. A phrase you overhear, a line in a song, A message from a friend, a sudden idea in the shower, these can all be gentle confirmations that your assumption has been heard. Take them as little winks from the unseen. You don't have to chase them or cling to them. Just let them encourage you and bring a smile to your heart, and then return again to your inner knowing, it is done for me. I am already the one I chose to be inside. And if there are days when nothing seems to move, when the outer world feels stubborn and heavy, remember that the deepest work is happening within where you cannot yet see. A seed does not look busy when it is under the soil, but it is preparing to break through. In the same way, your faith-filled assumptions are working in the silence. On those quiet days, simply rest, breathe, affirm softly, even when I see nothing, the answer is unfolding. I stay in my chosen state. I choose trust over sight. There is something very gentle about the way life brings your assumption into form. Often it does not appear with a loud noise and bright lights. It comes through what seems like ordinary events, little changes, small turns. Neville called this the bridge of incidents, a line of happenings that leads you from where you were to where you have chosen to be. If you looked at each event by itself, it might seem random or even unwanted. But when you look back later, you see how every step was part of the path. This is why it is so important to judge the middle. When you assume something new, sometimes the old state has to fall apart. A job may end, a friendship may shift, a habit may no longer feel comfortable. If you forget your assumption, you may cry out, "Why is this happening to me?" But if you remember, you will say instead, "This too is moving me to my fulfilled desire." You hold your inner ground. You do not worship the temporary shake-up. You keep your eyes inward on the finished scene. Think of a person who has assumed abundance after many years of lack. They decide, "I am always supplied, I am safe, and I am provided for." Soon after an old job ends or an unexpected bill arrives, the old self might shout, "See, it's getting worse." But the new self, the one who lives in the law of assumption, answers calmly, "I do not live by what I see in one moment. I live by what I have accepted in my heart." Even this situation is part of the way I am being lifted into something better. With that peaceful attitude, they stay open, and a new door appears that could never have opened while they held on to the old. You can treat every difficult moment as a test, or as a chance to deepen your faith. When things seem opposite to what you desire, you can say inside, "This is the perfect time to practice. This is where I show myself that my inner world is more real to me than what is in front of my eyes." You are not denying the outer facts. You are denying their power to rule you. You honor a higher truth, one that says what you believe in your heart has the final word. And remember this, your assumption is not a noisy thing. It does not have to be intense to be real. It can be quiet, steady, like a soft flame that never goes out. Some people think they must shout affirmations all day long. If that helps you at first, it is fine. But the real change comes when deep down you simply know, "This is who I am now." You may rarely speak it out loud, but your inner atmosphere is different. You walk differently because you know something the world does not yet see. Neville often spoke about living in the end, which simply means this: you no longer live from the place of wanting and longing, you live from the place of already having. Instead of saying, "I will be successful," you live as the one who already is. Instead of thinking, "One day I will be loved," you accept that you are loved now, and you let that feeling color your words, your choices, your posture. You do not wait for the outer to give you permission to feel this way. You accept it as your truth first, and then the outer mirrors that inner acceptance. If you wonder how to live in the end while still taking action, the answer is simple. Act as the person you have chosen to be, not as the person you used to think you were. Ask yourself quietly, if my desire were already fulfilled, how would I show up in this moment? How would I respond to this email, this phone call, this conflict? Then, as best you can, let your actions match that inner state. You are not acting in fear to make something happen. You are acting from the joy of knowing it is already done. You may notice that, as you change your assumptions, you are also guided more gently. Ideas arrive just when you need them. Chances to learn appear when you are ready. People who can help you cross your bridge of incidents show up almost as if they were sent. This is not an accident. When you assume something new, you are aligning with a wisdom that knows every detail needed to bring it into form. You do not have to plan the whole path. You only have to say yes when the next step becomes clear. There is a powerful line that says you are transformed by the renewing of your mind. Notice, it does not say you are transformed by punishing yourself, by worrying, by pushing. You are transformed by new thoughts, new visions, new inner words. Each time you choose a loving assumption when fear tries to take over, you are renewing your mind. Each time you revise a painful memory in imagination, you are renewing your mind. Each time you fall asleep, in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you are renewing your mind. And slowly, gently, your whole life begins to take the shape of that renewed inner pattern. If you have more than one desire, you may wonder where to start. You can begin with the one that feels most alive in you now, or you can choose the desire that seems to affect everything else. For some, this is inner peace. For others, it is a sense of worth, or the feeling of being loved. When that core assumption changes, it becomes easier for every other area to follow. It is like changing the root of a tree. When the root is strong and healthy, the branches naturally bear better fruit. It can also help to take moments during your day to pause and remember who you are. You might be at work, in a store, on a bus, and suddenly you realize you have been lost in worry. That is a beautiful moment to stop inwardly and say, wait, I am the one who has already received. I am the one for whom all things work together for good. I am not the scared, small self I used to believe in. I carry a greater life within me. Even a few seconds of this kind of remembering can reset your state. You do not have to tell everyone about what you are doing inwardly. In fact, it is often wise to keep your sacred assumptions close to your heart. You can share them only with those who truly understand, or you can share them not at all and simply let the change in your life speak for itself. The more you talk about a desire with people who doubt, mock, or fear, the more you may be tempted to slip back into your old state. So protect your inner garden. You do not owe anyone an explanation for the joy you are building within. At the same time, as you prove this law for yourself, you will naturally radiate more kindness. You will know what it feels like to be trapped in a limiting story, and you will have compassion for others who are still there. You will be able to look at someone in pain and, even while they complain, silently see them as healed and whole. You will listen with love, but inside you will refuse to agree with their darkness. This quiet refusal is a gift because you are holding them in a higher image than they are holding themselves. If you ever feel that your desire is too big, remember that size is an idea only in your mind. To the power that made all things, there is no big or small. A shift in your mood and a shift in your entire life are the same kind of work. The only difference is how much resistance you hold. When you call something too big, you place it far away in time and space. When you call it natural for me, you bring it close. You let it be normal, simple, part of your everyday life. So you might start saying, it is natural for me to be loved. It is natural for me to prosper. It is natural for me to live in peace. It is natural for me to be guided and protected. Feel how different that sounds from this is so hard, or maybe, if I'm lucky, one day. You are not trying to convince some power outside you. You are soothing and reshaping your own inner sense of what is normal. And as you continue, you will find that the impossible begins to lose its weight. Situations that used to make you panic will now invite you to go within. News that would have crushed you before will be met with a steady heart and a simple inner word. Even here, I know who I am. Even now, I trust what I have assumed. Even in this, I will see good unfold. You become less tossed about by the waves of life, because your anchor is not in circumstances, it is in your chosen state. In the quiet of this moment, you can already feel a small shift inside. Maybe it is just a little more hope. Maybe it is a small sense of warmth in your chest. Maybe it is a thought whispering, what if this really works for me? Take that tiny shift and cherish it. Let it grow. Let it lead you deeper into your own imagination, where you and your answered prayer can meet again and again until that inner meeting is as familiar to you as your own name. There is also a simple, powerful key in the words I am. Whatever you join to I am sinks deep into you and begins to shape your life. When you say, I am tired, I am broke, I am unlucky, you are not just describing a moment, you are claiming an identity. And the law, which never sleeps, takes that identity and reflects it back to you. But when you begin to say, I am chosen, I am guided, I am strong, I am provided for, even if your outer world has not caught up yet, you are planting new seeds. There is a line that says, let the weak say, I am strong. Notice it does not say, let the weak say, I will be strong someday. It tells you to speak from the end, to claim the strength before it appears. In the same way, you can be standing in the middle of what looks like failure and still say, I am successful. You can be alone and still say, I am loved. You are not lying, you are agreeing with a higher truth and letting that truth draw your life up to itself. Think about your inner conversations as well, those little streams of talk in your head. The arguments, the worries, the what if they say this, what if I say that, are not harmless. They are prayers. They are creative acts. If your inner talk is full of fear, criticism, and defeat, your outer world will echo that tone. But if you decide gently and firmly to make your inner conversations loving, hopeful, and kind, you will hear that same kindness coming back to you through people and events. For example, imagine you have a meeting that makes you nervous. The old habit might be to rehearse, they won't like me. I'll mess this up. I always say the wrong thing. Then you learn this law, and you decide to practice. You pause and ask, if my desire were fulfilled, how would I speak to myself about this? And you begin to say inside, this goes well. I am calm. They are glad to meet me. I express myself clearly. I am favored. You may feel a little strange the first few times, but keep going. You are not trying to force yourself. You are gently training your mind to agree with your chosen outcome. Time is often where people stumble. They say, I imagined it, but nothing has changed yet. Remember the picture of a seed. When you place a seed in the soil, you do not dig it up every hour to check if it is growing. You water it. You trust the process. You know there is a time to plant and a time to harvest. In the same way, when you have entered the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you do not need to repeat it all day with anxiety. You can return to it in love and joy, but you do not panic if you do not see instant results. The life is in the seed. Your job is to protect it, not to rip it out with doubt. If you find yourself checking constantly, is it here yet? Is it working? You can smile and say, I have planted it. I trust it. I know it is unfolding. That simple shift keeps you in faith instead of fear. You trade the heavy question when, for the peaceful knowing now, in the unseen, it is already done. Those moments just as you fall asleep and just as you wake are especially powerful. Your mind is soft and open then, not yet busy with the day. Use those moments. When you wake, instead of reaching for your old worries, reach for your new state. Even before you get out of bed, close your eyes for a few seconds and feel what it is like to be the person you have chosen to be. Let one simple sentence rise in you. This is a good day for me. Or everything today moves me closer to my desire. Or today I walk as the one who already has it. At night, treat your last thoughts as the doorway you pass through into deeper parts of yourself. Choose carefully what you take with you. Instead of falling asleep remembering what went wrong, go back to your little inner scene of the wish fulfilled. See it, feel it. Let gratitude soften your body. The ancient promise says that as you ask, you receive, as you seek, you find, as you knock, it opens to you. Asking, seeking, and knocking here are not loud outer actions. They are quiet, steady inner acceptances repeated in love. You may be facing something in your body that seems especially heavy, a condition or diagnosis you have carried for some time. The world may have told you this is permanent. Adjust to it. The law of assumption does not ask you to fight the world, it invites you to go beyond it. You can begin to assume, even gently at first, life in me is stronger than this. Health flows in me. I am whole. You can imagine yourself doing something simple you would do if you were completely well, running, bending, eating, sleeping with ease. And you can feel the joy of that. The change may not come overnight. There may be days when nothing seems different. But if you keep returning to that inner picture, if you bless your body with kind words instead of cursing it with harsh ones, you are building a new pattern. You are making room for a different outcome. You are honoring the truth that there is a life within you that renews and restores. Prayer in this way becomes much more than pleading with a distant power. It becomes a loving conversation with your own deepest self. Instead of crying, please give me this, you start to say, thank you that it is already given. Thank you that I am already one with this good thing. Gratitude is one of the easiest ways to feel the wish fulfilled, because gratitude belongs to something you believe you already have. When you truly feel grateful, you are no longer reaching and grasping, you are resting in what is. As you go through your day, you can turn simple actions into reminders of your new state. When you wash your hands, you might think, I am washed from the old story, I am fresh. When you open a door, you might remember, new doors open easily to me. When you sit down to eat, you might feel, I am always supplied. These little touches keep you gently aligned without strain. You are not adding more work to your day, you are turning your day into a quiet, living prayer. Children show you how naturally this can be done. When a child pretends to be a hero, a teacher, an explorer, they do not half believe. They throw themselves into it. They talk, walk, and feel as if it were true right now. They are not worried about how or when it will show up. They are enjoying the state. You are invited to return to that same simple, trusting attitude. It was said that unless you become like a little child, you cannot enter the kingdom. The kingdom is that inner world of faith and imagination where what you assume becomes your experience. So when you imagine, let yourself play a little, smile, breathe, do not make it hard. You do not need a special posture or a special room. You only need your own attention. Take your desire, shape it into a short, simple scene, and then, like a child, step into it as though it were happening now. Feel the joy of it. Let it be fun, not heavy. You may notice, as you live this way, that old labels begin to fall off you. Names you once gave yourself, the anxious one, the unlucky one, the sick one, the abandoned one, start to feel strange, like clothes that no longer fit. This is because you are awakening to a deeper name, the name spoken in the words, I am. When you say, I am loved, I am guided, I am secure, you are agreeing with that deeper identity. The outer world has no choice but to rearrange itself around that agreement. If you ever feel tired or overwhelmed by all of this, you can rest. You are not being graded. You are not being timed. This is not a race. This is a relationship with your own inner life. Some days you will feel strong and full of faith. Other days you may feel weak and full of doubt. On those days, do not scold yourself. Simply do the smallest thing you can. Whisper one kind sentence to yourself or picture one gentle image for a few seconds. Even that small act is a seed, and seeds have a way of surprising you when they finally break through the soil. Right now, as you read these words, you can let yourself soften inside and try a little step. Think of one area of your life that has felt impossible, not all of them at once, just one. Let an image arise of how that area would look if it were already healed, already solved, already bright. Do not worry about the details. Just let one scene appear and step into it in your mind. Notice how your body would feel. Notice what your face would be like. Notice the lightness, the ease. Then, very quietly, you can say inside, this is mine now. I accept this as my truth. You do not have to feel fireworks. You do not need to be sure you did it right. Your willingness is enough for now. Your simple yes is heard. So let this be the moment you quietly choose yourself and your new life. You do not have to shout. You do not have to prove anything to anyone. Right where you are, just breathe and decide, from this day I honor my inner world. I dare to believe that what I assume in love and faith must unfold for me. The facts may not change in an instant, but you have changed, and that is where all real change begins. You are no longer the one who waits helplessly for life to be kind. You are the one who gently, boldly writes kindness into your own heart and watches it appear as people, chances, and doors. Every time you close your eyes and step into the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you are saying yes to a higher truth about yourself. Every time you choose a loving inner conversation instead of a fearful one, you are moving a mountain grain by grain. Every time you fall asleep whispering, it is already done for me, you are planting a seed in a place deeper than fear can reach, and that seed will not be forgotten. The life that dreamed you, the life that placed these desires in your heart, is the same life that knows exactly how to bring them forth. So walk from here with your head a little higher, your shoulders a little softer, and a quiet smile that maybe only you and the invisible know the reason for. You are not at the mercy of what was. You carry within you the power to make the seemingly impossible your new normal. Hold your desire like a treasure already given. Live from the end, speak to yourself with tenderness and authority, and as you do, you will watch with a grateful and astonished heart as your imagined world rises up to meet you in living, undeniable form.